Today I'm going to unbag and take a look at Eagle Day, the Battle of Britain. This is part of the mini game series from Decisions Games. If you look at the back here, it says that it's part of the Air War Battle System, which I have a few of those. They have Red Eagles, which is Air War over the Kuban Peninsula, 1943. This is dealing with Russians and Germans here. You have Cactus Air Force, the air war over the Solomons. This is dealing, of course, with the U.S. and Japanese. Then you have MiG Alley, which is air war over Korea, 1951. Of course, this is North Korea and the U.S. And all these games have a similar system, hence the, well, there it is, the Air War Battles system, which uses cards as somewhat of a card-driven game. I mean, the cards really kind of control a lot of the action. Let's take a look at the back of this and see what we're in for here. Boy, that print is really small, so you might be able to read it better than I can. The Battle of Britain, the sky over Britain in 1940, was the scene of one of the decisive battles of World War II, when the Royal Air Force defeated the Luftwaffe's bid to gain air superiority and open the way for Operation Sealion. Eagle Day is a two-player war game covering the most critical period of the Battle of Britain. The Luftwaffe player must move bombers and their escorts to attack targets in Britain, while the RAF player must utilize interceptors to stop them. Each player moves units representing historical wings and groups, including Spitfires, Hurricanes, ME-109s, Ju-88s, HE-111s, and many more. Each unit is rated for air superiority, bombing, and speed. The game uses a new and unique system that facilitates aerial operations, dispensing with record keeping. This is really kind of an operational air game in that regard. Eagle Day is part of the Air War miniseries. Each player has a deck of campaign cards. They generate a range of events, including Führer directives, and the Empire rallies, and critical morale checks. Certain cards can be played in combination to gain operational advantages, leading to tense decision-making. There are special rules for radar, fog of war, and the infamous Stukas. So game contents, 1 11 by 17 terrain map, 40 die-cut counters, 18 cards, 4-page rule booklet, and there's an example of some of the counters there. And there is an example of the map. You can see here's 2 players. It's level 3, so group or wing. It's hex scale. It says NA here because it's just it's a grid. Playing time is 1 to 2 hours. Complexity is very low, and solitaire is high. So almost solitaire game. I've played these opposed and two-handed. They're really quick to get into. I mean, this 1 to 2 hours. Yeah, I haven't had one go 2 hours yet. So, and you can play them two-handed, so you can kind of solo these a little bit. So let's see what is contents we have in store for us. I picked this up at off Noble Knight. Was having a sale, and I like this series, and thought I would see how they're handling the Battle of Britain. Also, I'm prepping, and I don't know if I'm going to do it in conjunction with this video, but I'm planning on, did I get everything? I'm planning on doing kind of a deep dive on the Battle of Britain and kind of going over, I think I have enough games now on the Battle of Britain to talk about it, you know, at some different scales and some different attributes of the different games. This one is, again, operational and somewhat of, I hate to say abstract, because, you know, all war games kind of abstract certain elements, but it's definitely at a more less detailed scale of handling the Battle of Britain. You're not doing individual air. You're not doing, it's not, hinges not as much on the individual dogfights. I mean, there is fighting of the planes in here, but again, it's at a kind of a different scale or feel than some of the other games on that on the Battle of Britain that get into a lot more detail. So you get a baggie here to put the counters in. This is all the counters you get, so you really don't need a lot of baggies. This is typical decision game counters. I mean, okay thickness, but they come out relatively nibby. So if you're a clipper, you'll definitely want to clip them. And I'm not a clipper, or I'm an occasional clipper, and I still probably end up wanting to clip these. So there's some of the units there. The double-sided. This is when they're based. So you got that there. Then we have the cards that go with this that drive a lot of the action. And the thing I like about these games too, other than I can't get the bag open, is they don't take up a lot of space. They have a relatively small footprint. They're relatively easy to set up. The rules aren't that complicated, and again, that's one reason why I like series, because once I learn the rules for one of these, there might be some specific rules for this scenario, but I've got the rules down, so I kind of know how to play it, and I can just pick it up and go. So here are the Luftwaffe cards, and it's going to, here's refit, and they have like a reinforcement phase, what happens, and disposition. What happens here. So I guess this is reshuffle, discard. So this discard might be like a one-time use type card. So you're going to select one of the following and do that. And these they're okay. I mean, they're kind of thin, but you don't want them too thick and you don't want them too big because they need to fit back into this bag right here. But those are the Luftwaffe cards, and then we have the RAF cards here. And they're all going to be different on what they do for you. So those are the cards. Then we have the map. Let's go ahead and lay out the map. And it's typical decision games kind of map paper. It's not paper thin, but it's not not by no means mounted. Here we go. You've got a lot of your charts and stuff on here. So there's your terrain effects charts. Here's your game turn track. Here's your hour. Here's your terrain key between RAF base, Luftwaffe base, RAF radar line, naval base target, aircraft target. Then we have some charts here. Air supported combat results, bombing combat results, and the combat's relatively easy. I mean, and that's one thing you don't see in here. You don't see a die. You need to supply the die for the rolls. And on this side, we have anti-aircraft combat results, air superiority combat results, and then so we got some of the same tables on each side. This is the Luftwaffe command level, Luftwaffe abort, and Luftwaffe damage. So this, I guess the Germans will sit over here, and the RAF will sit over here with their command level, abort, and damage. Then we have put the map out here. As you can see, it does not take up hardly any space. In fact, I can almost put it in frame without having to go up periscope. So there you have the map. And again, we could probably set it out this way. This might be the way to play it with RAF on this side and Luftwaffe here, going over the channel and hitting its targets. So let's take a look at the rules. So you have the system rules, and then you have the scenario rules, which are specific to Eagle Day. The system rules are 4 pages. So there you have it. It's triple column, typical decision games format for definitely their magazine games are this way. All their folios and mini games are kind of set up like this. And I don't know if I have any of their box games. I imagine their rules might look similar as well. So here are the rules, talking about the introduction. Here's the different charts, target sheet, air units, ground units. And you can see there's black and white, but you can see you have the bomb value, air combat value, speed, and whether it's something short-ranged. And it talks a little bit about what all those things mean. Here's how to play. Sequence of play is the players must follow the sequence of play. Each turn consists of the following. Planning phase, first the intruder player and then the interceptor player. Pick a campaign card equal to their command level from their deck. You got reinforcements. And so that command level is going to come into play here. Sorry, I'm shadowing it. And you have redeploy. So here's operation phase. You have flying, air command, anti-aircraft, and bomb. Interceptor first hour. That was intruder first hour. Interceptor first hour. Intruder second hour. Interceptor second hour. And then you continue. Rinse and repeat. You got the campaign cards here. How they modify things. And as you saw, the cards were different on what phase they might affect. Then you have reinforcement and refits. You have redeploying. There's stacking. Here's air basing, sorties, how to fly units movement, air-to-air combat. So a lot of setup or a lot of context on the gameplay. And then here's your basics of movement and air combat right there. And anti-aircraft fire. There's bombing, strafing, and headquarter units. And this is designed by Joseph Miranda. There you have it. That is the basic system rules, and then you get the actual scenario for Eagle Day, which will have the specific charts. So this is the Eagle Day target roster. So this tells you your victory points for different locations. Here is your bombing combat results, and I think that chart might be on the map as well. And then you have your bomber command table right there. And then here are the specific rules. The forces, the intruder is the Germans, the interceptor is the British. Game length, how to win the game. So there's your victory point levels, and again, those are based on these targets here. Acquiring German VP, acquiring RAF VP. So German RAF VP is for knocking out units. So 2 for each German unit in the damage box at the end of the game. How to set up the game for the Germans, the British. Here's special rules. Command levels, wild cards, Luftwaffe or Luftflotten 5. It's a base in Denmark and Norway. The Stukas, some special rules on that. German seaplanes, radar, RAF headquarters, bomber command strikes, and there you have it. The rest is chart. So that is all you need to play the game of Eagle Day. Put some of those, put them down here where the Germans are. And put the RAF up here where they're going to play. And you got the counters. There you have it. That is what you get in a mini game of Eagle Day from Decision Games. As I said, I kind of like this series. Again, it's not very little. There's some chrome in here, right? There's some specific and special rules, especially some rules that are tied to the scenarios. But other than that, there's not a lot of complexity in these games. That's not what they're meant for. They're meant for kind of a quick get a feel for what this is like. And so I do definitely want to play this and then compare it to some of the other Battle of Britain games that I have and kind of see how the overall feel is from game to game. Anyway, that's what I like to do. What do you guys like to do? Do you like this series? Have you played any of the other ones that I mentioned? Have you played this one? Do you find it not not crunchy enough and not worth your time? As I said, I don't think I've ever had one go 2 hours. I think I normally hit right around less than an hour, I believe. But anyway, that's what I have for you today. Love to know your thoughts. And thank you so much for spending some time with me. Take care. Thanks for watching.